Good evening to all my friends and fellow Elvis fans. Welcome to TCBRadioNetwork.com on Facebook Live. We are celebrating the life and memory of Elvis Presley with a mission to share his legacy with the world. And right after tonight's episode, I want to ask you to meet me over at Facebook.com/PeterAldenFans. We have an unbelievable, incredible show for you tonight. So excited to have interviewed just this afternoon Dixie Locke Emmons, who of course was one of Elvis's very first girlfriends back in the 50s. He also happened to take her to her senior prom. So wonderful, fantastic interview with Dixie, and we're going to be playing that for you in just a bit. Peter Alden's fantastic video that he made with photos of her and Elvis together that I have not yet seen, but I'm delighted to show you, so stay tuned for all that. We've got this day in Elvis history and some great information on how you can join us in Memphis during Elvis Week for a fantastic star-studded event all about Elvis, so stay tuned for all of that. Hello, I want to say hi to Maureen and Terry, and Sissy is watching, Patricia Judd, Barbara Parrish, Carol Williams. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in with us tonight. First and foremost, of course, we're going to kick it off with our intro video. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll get to all the Elvis news for tonight. So here we go. Give me one moment. I'm going to turn the camera around. Here we go. All right. Okay, are you guys ready for this? I think I am. What a day, what an afternoon of preparation. It's been fun, to say the least. So, yes, so we're going to jump right into the Elvis news, and I just want to remind you, if you get a moment, please share the video. Let everybody know that you're getting your Elvis news tonight on TCBRadioNetwork.com on Facebook Live. Thank you for being here with us. So at the top of the show tonight, of course, I want to share with you my exciting news. If you haven't heard yet, you can join us, why not, at the 30th Annual Marion Koch Elvis Presley Memorial Dinner. It's coming up Monday, August 13th, 2018, beginning at 7 p.m. in the Skyway Room at the Peabody, Memphis. Tickets are $90 a person for adults, or $35 for children aged 12 and under. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. Hi, Andrea. And the tickets are non-refundable. You can break them up into payments if you need to. 3 consecutive monthly payments of $30 each may be made. The earlier you order your tickets, the closer you will be to the stage. Remember, you can make your checks out to EPMD, Elvis Presley Memorial Dinner, enclose a self-addressed stamped envelope and mail it to Tina Griffin at 9529 11th Avenue, Orlando, Florida 32824. To charge tickets by phone, you can call Lori Holland at 662-322-5956. Attire is formal or semi-formal. We're going to get all dressed up that night. We can't wait to see you there. There will be special guests, a high-end gift raffle, live charity auction, and candlelight memorial service. If you've lost a loved one this year and would like to carry one of the 41 candles, please give Lori or Tina their name and you will be put on a list. Your candle will be given to you at 6:30 p.m. in the elevator area at the Skyway. So come join us. There's always tons of Elvis celebrities, raffles, tons and tons of fun to be had. Not to mention the food is fantastic. So you're not going to want to miss Marion Cox Elvis Presley Memorial Dinner. Join us, won't you? We're going to raise lots of money for charity and add to Marion's over $1 million that she's raised through holding these beautiful dinners year after year. And I think Marion's watching. I see her name. Hi, Marion. Thanks for being here with us tonight. Hi, Tina. And Donna, hello, hello. Okay, so our next piece of news that I want to share with you is prepared by Peter Alden. This is my first time reading it today, April 10th, in Elvis Presley history. We're going to go back in time with you today. Back in 1956, just 1 week after appearing on the Milton Berle broadcast from the deck of the aircraft carrier USS Hancock in San Diego, Elvis, Scotty, Bill, and DJ performed once more at the Fair Park Coliseum. Elvis by this time had signed with RCA, had been on national television, Heartbreak Hotel had gone gold, and he had signed with Paramount Pictures to a 7-year contract. Buddy Holly, with his first single weeks away from being released, opened the shows with Sonny Curtis on guitar, Jerry Allison on drums, and Don Guess on bass. It was the first time that both Buddy and Sonny together opened for Elvis. His popularity necessitated 2 performances that evening, one at 8 and the other at 9:45, both to packed auditoriums which totaled over 10,000 people. Ken Kanemer in the Lubbock Avalanche Journal reported that Elvis appeared in Lubbock less than 18 months ago for $75, picked up $4,000 plus in this return appearance. He also wrote in his dressing room between the shows, Presley still couldn't get away from his following, the fans oblivious to the dressing and undressing members of the band, leaked through police at the doorway to get pictures, autographs, or just to look. He signed autographs on pictures, notebooks, papers, legs, arms, and foreheads. Of Elvis's performance, the Journal reported, you heard very little of his voice Tuesday night. As soon as he would sing a few bars of a number, he was greeted by wails, screams, and swooning acts that brought back memories of Frank Sinatra's heyday. Heartbreak Hotel, I Got a Woman, and Blue Suede Shoes literally brought down the house, as did every gymnastic movement of his body. It was their final appearance at the Coliseum in Lubbock. Can you imagine being at a show where Buddy Holly opened for Elvis? Unbelievable. Such an exciting day in Elvis history. All right. And so next up, it's about that time. I want to go ahead and play for you our interview with the beautiful, amazing, graceful, dynamic Dixie Locke Emmons. Dixie, of course, was a close girlfriend of Elvis's from early 1953 until October 1955. Dixie was dating Elvis Presley in 1954, but her favorite singers at the time were actually Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and Peggy Lee. Dixie was only 15 years old when she spotted Elvis Presley at the First Assembly of God Church in Memphis. At 19, that's how old Elvis was when she saw him, the future king of rock had a start in his career thanks to a recent recording with Sun Records, but that didn't stop him from pursuing love. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start this video of our interview this afternoon with the beautiful Dixie Locke. Before I do that, I want to say hi to everybody. Hey, it is Marion. Hi, hello back. And Tina's here. She shared all the pages. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Dixie says, or Marion says she can't wait to hear Dixie's story, although she's heard it before. Hi, Jane from Kentucky. Sorry it's raining there. And Maria from Canada. And Donna says she met Dixie last year at the Elvis Presley Memorial Dinner. She's a beautiful and sweet lady. I have to agree. I didn't go up to Dixie. I was too nervous to talk to her, but I saw her sitting there. Okay, so let me see. Peter's not here to do this, so let me try my best to start this video for you guys. I hope I do it right. Let's see here. Here it goes. All right, and Dixie, take us back to the Assembly of God, Memphis, your church, before the famous skating party story, which we'll get to next. And just tell me, do you have any memories of seeing Elvis for the first time or the first few times?
Oh, well, yes, I do. I have been in the same church for over 70 years now. My family started going to the church when I was just a child, so I've been in the church all that long. Elvis and his family, when they moved to Memphis from Tupelo, started coming to our church, and the reason for that was because the had just become famous, the Blackwood Brothers Quartet were members of our church that had won national acclaim on the Arthur Godfrey talent show that was pre-American Idol. But they were just the tops in gospel music, and were members of our church, so I'm sure that's what brought them to the church. And of course, I was among just an army of girls who, as soon as they started coming, had our eyes on him. He was so not just handsome, but just different from the rest of the guys in our Sunday school class. So yes, it was very evident that he was the new guy, and everybody was paying attention to him.
Did you ever see Gladys at the church? Do you have any memories of Gladys at all?
Oh, yes, very much so. They came together. The family came, and that was in the latter part of 53. That sounds like another world from now, but that was in the latter part of 53 that they started coming to the church. And excuse me, and I actually started dating Elvis, and I did in January of 54. So we were together just almost every day for months before, time for his record to be released. So we were real close. I was real close with his mom and dad. We spent a lot of time together, and he did as well at my house. He, being an only child, he loved hanging out at my house because I had three sisters, and cousins that lived next door. So it was a real family atmosphere at our home as well. So he enjoyed being there with us as well.
Oh, that's so cool. And we love your famous story about the skating party. Can you tell that to the listeners for us?
Well, I can. Elvis and I had noticed each other at church and kind of looked at each other, but we were both a little shy at that time, and neither one of us went up to the other to introduce ourselves or talk to the other one. But after Sunday school one morning, some of my girlfriends and I had always gone on the weekend to Rainbow Skating Rink to skate, so that particular day I made sure that when we talked about it, we were in his presence so he could hear what was going on. And I thought to myself, if he comes to the skating ring that night, I think it will be because, he knew I was going to be there. That sounds kind of vain now to say that, but that's what I was thinking as a teenager. And so we went that Friday night to the skating rink, and he was there. It was pretty evident to me that he didn't skate because he was kind of holding on to the rail to keep his feet on the ground. But I actually went up to him and introduced myself to him, and I don't know if you know me or not, but I'm Dixie, and I'm a member of the church. And he said, oh, yeah, I know who you are. So that kind of just kicked it off, and we spent most of the rest of the night not doing a lot of skating, but just sitting talking. And he took me home from the skating rink that night. So that was he asked me that night, could we go out the next weekend? And, of course, I said yes, and gave him a phone number. It was not my phone number because we didn't even have a telephone at the time, but my aunt and uncle lived next door, and I gave him their number. And so before the week was over, I think the next night or so, he called, and we talked. So it was kind of an instant thing with both of us. We felt just an instant connection with each other and look forward to being together again. So.
Well, I don't know really how to ask this without sounding like a silly question, but now when we talk to people who knew Elvis later in life, girlfriends and friends, they often mention that they would know he was in the building before they ever saw him. I'm just wondering, that early on, did you have any feeling that Elvis is already there when you pulled up to the rink? Because I know he was waiting for you when you got there. Did you have any idea he was already there?
At the skating rink, you mean? When I got there at the skating rink?
Yes.
Well, I didn't know. I kind of hoped that he would be, and I felt like, just from our connection, just noticing each other at church, I felt like he was interested, because every time I would look at him, he would be looking at me, so I felt like he was interested, so I was hoping he would be there. I didn't know that for sure, because I didn't know him personally at that time, but he was there when we got there, so it was that was my cue, I guess.
Okay, great. And can you tell everybody your actual first date was to sit at home playing Monopoly? Can you share about that?
It was because when we had made arrangements to go out the next weekend, and when he came, of course, I had told my mom and dad about him. I was, we were just teenagers at that time and had not done any dating as far as going out, just me and somebody with a car. We were usually in a group, with our church friends and neighborhood friends. So when he came that night to pick me up, and my mom and dad met him, and he was so different from the other guys that I went with, and they politely called me back to the other room and told me that we couldn't leave the house. So he was, like I said, he was just different from the rest of the guys as far as his appearance and his mannerisms and everything. So my mother and daddy didn't exactly want us to leave the house that night. So I told him, is it okay with you if we just hang out here? And he said, sure. So we just hung around my house, and he got to know my sisters and my mom and dad, and we played Monopoly and just had a grand time. It was no problem for us at all. And we did that a few times, and it wasn't long, of course, till he was such a polite young man, and we were raised that same way too. In our family, so it wasn't long before my family, approved of him definitely and enjoyed being with him as well. So we just had kind of an instant connection there.
Yes, and I know when you guys talked, you felt you had so much in common. Your backgrounds were so similar.
Right.
Right. And yeah, we don't often get to talk with people that, got to spend a whole lot of time with Gladys.
Right.
So,
well, I was fortunate in that respect because, like I said, she and Mr. Presley both just took, I'm sure that they saw our feelings for each other, was real to us, and so they accepted me right in, just like my parents did him. So we spent a lot of time together, ate meals together, went to church together, went shopping together. We had just a real sweet relationship with them.
You went shopping together. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I remember one day in particular, this was after his Elvis's record had already been released, and he was getting a little notoriety at that time, and his mother and I went shopping to buy him a new sport coat, and went to one of the, kind of popular men's clothing stores at that time in Memphis, and we picked out a sport coat. We thought it was pretty nice, but we were both disappointed when he saw it because he didn't care for it at all, and he let us know that pretty quick. So it was kind of plain. I think it was not, and he was not into the plain stuff. So of course I was tagging along with his mother, so I didn't put too much input into it myself, but she picked out what she thought was pretty and that he would like. So that was one of our shopping trips that we learned from that. Maybe we better stick with something a little more flashy than looking for something that we thought would look nice on him.
Do you remember, did they have a return policy? Did you take it back?
We did take it back. We had sense enough to keep receipts, so we did take it back, and in fact went back with us and picked out something else for himself. So,
okay.
So there went no surprise element there, but he kind of already knew that was before he had about the time he was discovering Lansky. So from then on, just about everything he was interested in, we learned that too. If you wanted anything for clothing, you had to go to Lansky's because they had everything that his style there.
I love it. And then there's a story that he drove all the way back from Louisiana to take you to your prom in Memphis.
He did. He sure did. He was traveling quite a bit by that time. This was the next year, actually, at 55. And, we had, just seeing each other exclusively for a long, long time. And but when his popularity started and recording and making public appearances, all the girls just went crazy over him, and so it was a little strange there for a while. But he always loved coming back home and hanging out in familiar places and being with his family and with mine and friends that we went to school with. So it was always a good time when he was at home. But we had planned months before about my junior prom, and he had, said he would definitely be there because he had, by that time, of course, met a lot of my friends from school. And so he was in Louisiana, and there was never any talk of what if he don't get back. He was going to be back regardless. Mm-hmm. So he did, and it was just it was a fun thing. I mean, it wasn't any consideration like what if he don't show up, because he had said he would be here, and I knew he would. So it was a good night, and I'm sure you've seen the picture.
Dixie, I was gonna ask you a quick question about that, because I know that a lot of times it's just they crop it to just show you and Elvis, but there are two other people in the picture. Well,
it's a separate picture.
Oh, okay.
It was made the same night, but there was a picture just me and him, and then another picture of the girl was my best friend all during school, and we grew up together. She passed away a few years ago, but she was my best friend. We lived next to each other, just had good, sweet girlfriend time, and she dated, she went out a few times. It was not anything serious, but she went out a few times with Elvis's cousin, Jane Smith. Okay. And that was actually Jane in the picture with her on the same prom night.
Okay.
Now, did he have stars in his eyes even back then? Did he talk to you about dreams of going into show business before everything happened?
Well, not especially. I don't know that he ever used the term show business, but he knew that he just, like, he knew in his heart that he was going to be singing one day. He loved music, and he was so good at it. And just when he got on stage, he just transformed into, because he was kind of shy, really, to start with. But when he got on stage and started singing, he was not. So, and the reaction that he got from everybody that saw him was just, it was just amazing to see that. So it was all very new to all of us, and so, but a neat thing to watch and see him in action doing that. And after the first reaction, there was no doubt at all in his mind that that's what he was supposed to do with his life. So we've often laughed and teased about this, because I said, yes, I knew that was coming, and I saw it, and I was excited for him because I knew that's what he wanted to do, and I wanted that for him, but I still wanted him to go to work at 9 o'clock and come home at 5 every day. And I found out pretty quick that was not going to happen.
Well, like his mama, I think she would have preferred something similar,
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. It was hard to let go, and because, like I said, we spent so much time together, and even when he started traveling around home here from the Memphis area, Arkansas, Mississippi, Kentucky, places like that were close, that we could actually drive in a day and do the concert or show. It wasn't much of a concert then. It was actually in a high school gym or on a flatbed truck or something. But we would do that, and his mom and dad would go. And if they went, I could go with them. If his mom and dad didn't go, I was not allowed by my parents to go. So, but his mom and dad went most of the time when it was around here close where we could go and stop somewhere and have dinner and go to the show and then come back home that night.
Have you stumbled on any videos of yourself back in the early days? Did anybody, I guess nobody would film a show on the back of a truck or think of it back then.
No, you know what? I do not. We were from a very poor family. My mother was strictly a homemaker to 5 kids, and my dad worked. So we had a very, we didn't feel deprived of anything. We had a very loving family, and we taught morals, and they loved the being in Sunday school and studying the Word with our friends. So we didn't feel deprived in any way. But a lot of the things that people now, you just think, how can you get by without a cell phone? You know, and we didn't even have a home phone, and didn't have a TV, didn't have a car. So we were very by today's standards, and of course Elvis's family was the same way during that time. You know, that was something else we had in common. We just from hardworking family, but not a lot of extravagance. They were just, it was just what you had to have to get by, sort of thing. So we didn't have a camera even during that time. So I would love to have seen some of the videos there. We, of course, got some shots of just photos that was taken later of me and him together, and our family, and me and Miss Presley together, and things like that. But as far as the video, no, I would love to have had that too. So some of the earlier ones that they showed during different documentaries and things of his early performances, I could visualize myself standing over in the wings watching all going on. So it's a fun time. It was a very exciting time for us as teenagers to watch that happening there, up close and personal, as the old saying goes.
Yeah, well, I know for myself, and I'm sure a lot of people listening here are kind of enjoying getting a different perspective of Elvis before the glitz and the glamour.
Right.
And of course, you're one of the few who actually got to know his mother and father in such a very knowledgeable way as far as that, because you were both so young, and mom and dad were heavily involved back then, and so it's great to hear these stories. But I would like to ask you, do you have a favorite memory that always just when you think about it just kind of makes you smile, that is just your favorite memory of you and him, or with his family or your family?
Okay, well, I have a lot of special memories. It would be hard to say one particular one. Something that we always enjoyed doing was, there was a place here in Memphis, Riverside Park, was a big, it's right on the bluff of the Mississippi, and a lot of the people, school kids, not just from our school, because, Elvis and I didn't go to the same high school, but a lot of people, kids that were dating or not dating even, would go over to Riverside Park, and there was a big bluff where you could park and sit and watch. We used to tease and say, watch the submarine races going on over there, but they had a canteen there by the lake, and had a jukebox, and people would, the couples could dance and play music, and it was very well chaperoned, and and nice for the teenagers. So we did that quite often, and after he met some of my friends from school and felt comfortable with them, a lot of times he would have his guitar in the car with him when we would go over there, and after they realized that he did sing and was serious about it, he would get his guitar out and play and sing, and we'd all just join in. It was like a big sing-along thing. So a lot of my friends felt very at ease with him, and he, of course, got that feeling as well, too. So that was always a fun time for us. And then about his parents, I guess one thing that sticks out in my mind about that, after he started traveling and would be gone overnight, and then it got to be all week, they were, of course, lonesome for him, and he would call when he could or sent telegrams. I got a lot of telegrams from him during that time. But I would go over to his parents' house, and we would eat dinner together. And actually, I spent the night there with him a few times, when he was out on the road, just so we could be together. We felt closer, I guess, being together with him not there. So that was a sweet time for me. We just, like I said, I just was as relaxed and comfortable with his parents as I was with mine, because they were so loving and considerate for me. So I have a lot of sweet memories about those days.
Did you ever, I know you got married and had children and moved on. Was there any time in the 60s or the 70s where you thought, he's doing a concert close to home, let me go check him out, see how this guy turned out? Did you ever have any feelings like that?
No, I did not really. I saw him when his mother died. He called, of course, when his mother died, and I went to her service and went out to Graceland a couple of days and spent some time, not 2 consecutive days, but I went out on two different days and spent time with him and talking about old times and sweet memories. And at that time I married shortly after that. So my husband and I, in November of this year, will celebrate our 58th wedding anniversary. So
Congratulations. Wow.
Yeah, thank you. So we had just a sweet relationship, and but we both realized, having grown up the way we did in a Christian home, pretty soon after the movies and the Hollywood and all that started, we both realized that, plans and dreams that we had thought were going to happen, we realized that was not going to happen for us. Because of the different lifestyles at that time, like being raised in an old Southern Christian home, and that was just not to be part of my lifestyle. So we both realized that, and it was hard for both of us to realize that, because it was something a change in our plans that we'd been talking about for a couple of years. So, but anyway, we remained close friends and just had the highest respect for each other. And when he passed away, his dad called me and asked me. We stayed in touch, even when Elvis and I kind of didn't stay in touch after I got married. That was kind of the end of it. But his dad would call me from time to time, but I couldn't bring myself to go to the funeral after he passed away. So just have a lot of sweet memories that I hold on to.
Yeah. Well, and let me tell you, this interview is not. We understand that this is how wonderful this is for you to be talking to us. We know for years that you did not do interviews. And
I did not.
We really appreciate talking to you. But I know there was a magical night somewhere like in 1990 when you spoke with Peter Goralnik, and it kind of changed your feelings about interviews. Will you tell everybody why you didn't do interviews before and why things changed after that?
Well, I think... I'm not sure. The first one that I actually did was in '94, and Lisa Gibbons had a show out in Hollywood, and she contacted me. I was working then. My husband was on the Memphis Fire Department, and I actually was on staff for 30 years at the church that we're talking about at First Assembly, where I was raised, and I was the pastor's assistant there in the church for 30 years. So, but my husband had retired in '94, and that shortly after that, we got a call from Lisa Gibbons, and I don't know, how she got in touch with us or what, but they had somehow seen the prom picture, and she was doing a show on people who either dated or knew famous people. So when she first called me, I said, "Oh no, I can't do that. I don't do that." And so she was very insistent, and finally told me, it's not like you would have to do the whole hour, because they had someone on the show who was one of Tom Hanks' professors in college, a girl who dated Garth Brooks, and somebody who dated the Miami Vice, Don Johnson. So it was, you'll just have bits and pieces. So, and they made a very nice offer to fly me and my husband out and put us in a hotel. It was all going to be paid for. But the deciding factor for that for me really was I have a sister in California, and I hadn't seen her in a couple, 3 years. So I said to them, well, if I do that, can I leave and go to my sister's and then come back? So all that was arranged. So that was a deciding factor there. So that was really the first one I did, and Lisa Gibbon was such a beautiful host herself. And I just said to her, I'm nervous about this. In fact, they have this beautiful green room with all the food and stuff in there, and which my husband enjoyed, and I was just about ready to pass out. And so I didn't partake of any of that, but I told her, look, I don't mind telling you anything, any part of my story, because it's going to be true. Anything I tell you is true. But if you say something to me, because sometimes reporters will ask you embarrassing questions, and I said, if you say something that's totally out of line to say to anybody, certainly not a Christian lady and a pastor's secretary, I'll probably get up and walk off. And she said, oh, I promise you I won't do that. So it was very nice. It went very well. And then, but they went to break, and when they came back after the break, Lisa says, well, Dixie, I have to ask you this. And I thought, oh, no, here it comes, And she said, people in the audience wanted to ask this question, was he a good kisser? So I said, well, yeah, I can answer that truthfully. He was. So that wasn't too embarrassing for me. So that was really my first interview that I did. And I think Peter saw that interview, and when he started on the book, The Last Train to Memphis, he contacted me, and I wasn't sure about that really, but I did a little research on him myself, and he, when he was in Memphis, he actually came to the church, and that was the only time we ever met, really. He came to the church, and I would meet with him during my lunchtime and talk with him. So we've kind of stayed in touch over the years. He's an excellent writer, and people have teased me after the book came out, said, you should have put your name on that book because I can prove it. I said, well, I just told him what I knew. So it's okay, though. It's okay.
Well, do you want to share with everybody what your life is like now with your husband? And I know you have children, and what they think of your time with Elvis, that the fact that you're still doing these interviews all these years later.
They get a kick. I have two daughters and a son, and I have a grandson and a granddaughter. And my little granddaughter is just 11, and she just discovered this a couple of years ago. So she's just really excited about it now. And in fact, she asked me the latter part of the last school year. They were doing like a show and tell thing in her class, and she wanted to take me for show and tell. And I had wanted me to bring some pictures and talk to her class, and I tried to get out of it. I said, honey, I'm not sure, 10-year-olds are really interested in hearing that. And she said, oh, yes, Mamie, we are. We all want to hear it. So and my husband kind of insisted that I go do it. I wasn't too crazy about it, but they are so cute. Those little kids are so cute that I couldn't resist. So I went and did the day with that. And then a few times I've taken both of my girls from at different times that we've gone and done interviews for places around where they can go with me. And they enjoy it too. In fact, my second daughter was one of the first tour guides at Graceland when they opened Graceland to the public.
Oh, wow.
So she was there several years there at Graceland too.
What's her name?
Christy.
Okay.
Christy Emmons, and she started in '82. She and one of my husband's nephews were there at the same year that they opened Graceland to the public, and she had a little funny story after that. She'd been there 2 or 3 weeks, and she said she had a note on her time card to report to see the CEO before she left that day. And when she went, she was nervous about it, and she went, and he said to her, you didn't tell me that you were Dixie's daughter when we hired you.
Is that right? She got that job on her own.
Yeah, and she said, well, because I wanted you to hire me on my own qualifications and not because I was Dixie's daughter. So she made a few points that day, too, I think. And,
That's great.
and of course, that was with Jack Soden, and he's a great guy. We have a nice, friendly relationship with him as well, and he's so generous. And Graceland's been so kind to me, to invite me down for different things and send me tickets for the concerts. And Priscilla and I are great friends as well. So it's my husband and I, like I said, be celebrating 58 years of marriage this year, and my 3 children, 2 beautiful grandchildren. Still pretty involved in our church, and my husband's a golfer, and so we have a sweet life right now. We really do.
I think about your husband a lot and how he must be like, she could have had Elvis, but she chose me.
Yeah.
Like,
he's got a funny story about that because, like I said, he was on the fire department, and a lot of the guys that he worked with, one of them particularly would kind of pick at him, and he says to him, I can't imagine how your wife ended up with you after dating Elvis. And my husband says, she did not want the reputation of being married to a poor boy from Tupelo, Mississippi, because he said I told her that I had money. And so I said, well, yeah, and I've been looking for it for 58 years, and I haven't found it yet. So he's a very good sport about it, and just, we have a big kick out of it, too. So he's a good guy. If he wasn't, I wouldn't feel the freedom to do and say things that I do, reminiscing if he wasn't okay with it.
well, please tell him thank you for us. We've been calling the house for I don't know how many months asking for you, so thank you so much.
Okay, well, I'm glad it worked out. Too. And Marion had told me about the program. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to talk with you, and I hope things go well with y'all too, Krista.
Oh, we're so honored to talk with you too, Dixie. Thank you so much for being online with us. Thank you all so much for listening to our interview with the fabulous Dixie Locke Emmons.
Well, there you have it. Another amazing Elvis interview. Elvis's prom date, or actually, he was Dixie's prom date, really. And we were just so delighted to have her on the program today and share with you her amazing interview. She's been on so many TV shows and documentaries and things. Thank goodness she decided to start opening up after so many years that she did not talk about her time with Elvis. And we were just so honored to speak with her this afternoon. So without too much further ado, I'm going to go ahead and finish out the show for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching us live. It's been fun seeing your comments and things. Thank you, Marion Koch, for being in the comments with us tonight. And don't forget, in just a little while, I'm going to go ahead and begin our broadcast over at facebook.com/Peter Alden fans. A lot of people have been asking me about my co-host, Peter Alden. Who is he? Is he related to Ginger Alden? No, he is not. But he does have a really interesting career, and I've had a lot of fun putting together another show for you tonight. We're going to be interviewing someone from the Victory Casino Cruise Line show that we did earlier this year, and we're going to be doing it again. So if you're interested in live music, if you're interested in Peter Alden and want to learn more about him, come join me over at the Peter Alden Show. Thank you so much for joining us here at TCB Radio Network on Facebook Live. Don't forget, you can catch this video on our YouTube channel and also on our website. It'll be up there in the next day or two. Just head over to tcbradionetwork.com for all of our past episodes, more about our show, and so much more. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you again on Tuesday. This Tuesday coming up, we'll have another show for you, and I don't want to give too much away, but I have another exciting interview scheduled on the books. So I believe we'll be able to bring you another interview on Tuesday. So that'll be exciting. Thank you again so much for watching. Have a great evening. Don't forget to share the video. See you guys real soon.